What's going on, guys, and welcome along to another video. I'm Matt with DSR, and today we are back on a Kawasaki. We are taking out the H2 SX SE for 2024. This thing is a beast. It's an inline-4 supercharged engine, 998cc, 137 newton meters of torque, and more importantly, 197. That's right. 197 brake horsepower. I've just reviewed Kawasaki's 1000 SX, and as a sports tourer, it's a good bike. If you want to check out that review, top right hand corner, you can see it there. Now, my question for today is the H2 SX a better sports tourer than the 1000 SX? Yes, I know 1000 SX has a really good price point. And this thing, new, on paper, comes in at 25,649. So yeah, on paper, this over the SX is over 10 grand more. But, just have a little walk around, completely Kawasaki in Yeovil, and they've got a 24 plate with 1 mile, so brand new, for £19,999. So straight away, you've just saved yourself almost 6 grand. And more importantly, that's just brought this bike a little bit closer to the SX price point. The SX is a good bike. It's got, I wouldn't say an exciting engine in it. You know what you're getting from it. My personal thoughts before we've really got into testing this bike is that this bike with its supercharger is just going to give you everything you want in the sports category of this sports touring. You may agree and you may not agree that this should fall into the sports touring category. The way I see it, this isn't the ZX10, this isn't a flat out sports bike, and you can add bags onto this. You can whack the panniers on the back. So it's got that sporty riding feeling to it. I'm kind of bent over on my wrist, but I'm not all the way like the ZX10, and I can get luggage. So yeah, why shouldn't it come under the sports touring category? Let's get into some of the electronics on this bike then. We've obviously got LEDs all round, but what's also nice to see is we do have cornering lights on this. So at night time, as you're going along, the more you bank in, the more those cornering lights turn on. Something that is needed if you've ever ridden at night time. Motorbike headlights are notoriously rubbish. So cornering lights, nice little add. We've got a large, I think it's like a 6.5 inch TFT screen at the front. But what I really like about this, which is what they should put on the SX, is this has got the new Kawasaki Spin app. Now, normally Kawasaki use the Rideology app, but they've got a new one as well called the Spin app. And this screen, connected to the Spin app with your phone, gives you a full map navigation. Not just turn by turn, full maps. It's not seamless, it's not the most easy to use, and when I say that, connecting wise, it connected straight up. Just follow the instructions on the screen. My problem is, I'll show you in a bit when we pull over, when you go onto the maps on here, you have to use the buttons on the bike to input the address. I'd rather have it where I could just do it on my phone and then it just pops up, just like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. But I am very pleased that this bike has full maps, something that misses the mark on a lot of bikes that claim to be anything to do with touring. We've got radars front and rear. So the rear is going to give us blind spot detection, so on the mirrors, little triangle illuminates when there's someone in your blind spot. Front radar, that gives you collision warning, so everything you're going to hit the car in front, it will start flashing up. And obviously, being a bike that can do some touring, this has got cruise control. We all love cruise control, especially on a bike that is a little bit further forward onto your wrist. It does mean you can put the cruise control on and just kind of sit up a little bit and give your wrist a little break. We've got a few rider modes, so we've got sport, road, rain, and then rider or user. Obviously user / rider will be where you can go on and then adjust the parameters yourself. Currently got it set to sport. Throttle pickup is really nice. It's strong, it's powerful, and it starts going as soon as you twist this throttle. There you go, hopefully you saw that on the screen. That's that collision warning. So all the bars along the top start flashing red, and then you get an orange box with a little collision sign on the TFT screen as well. I'm 6'1", 115 kilos. Ergonomically, like I said, I am leaning forward a little bit. Not all my weight is on my chest, on my wrists. My feet do feel quite high up on the pegs. Now, I don't know if the pegs can be adjusted. Kawasaki normally do the ergo fit where you can adjust some elements. But yeah, it is quite an aggressive position. Feet and knees are in a kind of fixed position. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of movement I can do. Every now and then when you throttle on and then come off, you can hear the supercharger. Let's face it, being at the 20 to 25 grand point, you expect good things. You expect this to have your Brembo brakes. This one obviously is the SE, so it does have the semi-active electronic suspension. You can save yourself probably £1 or £2 by going from the SE down to the standard SX. Not sure how loud the wind is coming through the mic, but on the helmet it's quite loud. The screen is fixed and the wind is hitting me kind of just below the helmet level and up. If you've never ridden one of these superchargers, you need to go and test it. When you think you know how quick something is, come and jump on one of these. Absolutely insane. Because this bike does have the front radar, this has also got adaptive cruise control. In essence, when the cruise control is set, it maintains a certain distance between the vehicle and front. So if someone cuts in, it will slow the bike down and then go for that distance. Another nice lighting feature, other than the cornering lights, this does have also high beam as well. I'll try and show you when we pull over. There is like a little sensor in the front just above the headlight. Not the greatest turning circle. That's the sports bike in it coming through. Another reason that this might be better than the SX for a little bit of touring as well is the way Kawasaki have fueled this with a supercharger. This thing gets better miles per gallon, better fueling than the SX. And also, I think it's better than the 1000 Versus as well. Overall, that's pretty cool, see when this does have a supercharger. Town riding, it is pretty easy. I've got both feet flat on the floor because it's got a pretty low seat height of 835mm. So constantly coming to these stop starts, it's easy getting the foot down. The clutch is easy, the throttle is nice and smooth. Yeah, town riding, easy. Honestly, why do people only put indicators on when they're already turning? I think with this engine and the power, it's not like really torquey, it's not like you twist the throttle when the front's coming up. But it's got like a linear power curve where it's just strong all the way through until it gets to that top end. Don't get me wrong, the front end on this definitely does get a little bit light when you are giving it some beans. You can have some fun on this, that's for sure. Slow speed handling, kind of 20-30 miles an hour. This thing's not light, it's like 267 kilos. And it flicks pretty nicely. Just do a bit of counter steering. Yeah. Handles nice. The difference between sport and rain is phenomenal. Rain is just so smooth but almost slow. You just full throttle and it goes, but it doesn't launch you into the oblivion. But let's face it, if you've got this much power between your legs and it's doing the wet stuff, you don't want that rear wheel spinning up. The quick shifter going down, that does feel a little bit clunky. Going up, there's no dramas, but yeah, down, definitely you can feel it. It's not like bloop, bloop, which is a shame because Kawasaki normally have really good quick shifters. But not on this one. Might just be this bike. Who knows? Over these back rows, suspension feels really nice actually. I've not changed anything, I've not adjusted anything. It's just on whatever it's come from the factory. Brakes are nice and strong when you really want to get on them. Obviously, like I said earlier, we got Brembos on these, and then we got twin 330 at the front as well. All the stopping power you'd want. Because let's face it, for a bike that goes this fast, you want to know you can stop.
And here we go then, looking at the front of the Kawasaki H2 SX SE. At the top here, just under the screen, there's a little cutout. And inside there, I think potentially that is going to be for the high beam, because underneath the headlight, just about make it out, this whole section here is that front radar. So obviously that's what's going to be used for that front warning collision. These here are those cornering lights I was on about. As you can see, there's 3 separate ones. Like I said, each one gets turned on the steeper the bank is. Why is it whenever you try and film, everyone turns up at the same time? They don't go to the bottom of the car park, they always come to the top of the car park, where I am. We have the same integrated luggage system as on the SX, so the panniers will just go straight on and nothing else needs to be installed. And the other thing, obviously, a little bit of touring in mind, it does have a centre stand as well as a side stand. You can't really see it because it's hidden behind the quite big exhaust, but this does actually have a single-sided swing arm as well. I mean, just look at the size of this thing. It's huge. Although the tank looks pretty big, it's not actually that big. It's got 19 litres. Like I said, this is going to get better fuel in it than the 1000 SX. Looking at the cockpit, we do have a 12-volt charging point as well. And then looking at Kawasaki's spin app, turn the bike on. And then using these 3 buttons here, we're going to use them to navigate. There we go, phone is connected. As mentioned before, it's not a seamless app. I think it's got like only a 1-star or 2-star review on iOS App Store. Okay, so phone is now connected. As we can see on the right hand side, it says ready to start. Push it is, and that's where we've got the calendar, maps, phone, music, and contacts. And then if there's any other apps that are allowed via the Kawasaki spin app, then they'll show up here. Music, you can go on, it's pretty basic, but then you can just go onto the albums and change whatever you need to. The main thing for me is the maps. Like I said, this is what it looks like. It's full map navigation, as I said, which is decent. The only problem is you need to use these buttons to do everything. But that's how it looks when it's on. But yeah, searching for something new, unless you've got the postcode and you're going to search for like supermarket, Sainsbury's or something like that, you've then got to go through the buttons like this. It can take its time. But the problem is, when you're on the phone and you come off that spin app, it disconnects straight away. It would be nice to see if I could do all my maps and my searching and whatever I need to on the phone, and then it just sends it straight to the bike, just like Apple CarPlay. That to me is the biggest problem with this system at the minute. I think it's time to get kitted up and enjoy this supercharger a little bit more before I hand this bike back.
I think this bike looks really, really good. I think it looks better than the SX. The SX also had a riding position which wasn't the most comfortable for anything long distance. I prefer the extra features over this. The maps, some of the extra electronics, adaptive cruise control, all the extra little goodies you get with this. And then this engine. It's crazy. So my money, I think you can tell, is going to be on this over the SX. Yes, there is quite a big price difference, but like I said, you can pick one up brand new for under 20 grand. So that then says you can start looking at getting one maybe a year or two old of the H2, and it's going to be not far off a new SX. If you just want new, then obviously you're going to go for the SX over the price. I just think with better fueling, you get more miles, it means you pay less for fuel. Eventually, you'd end up paying more with the SX. That's boy math right there. In the long run, saving yourself some cash dollar. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have, give it a thumbs up. More importantly, subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty of reviews coming. Nothing to say, but until the next time, ride safe.